If you like what you watch, then don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter for the latest updates on The More Show. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel for new weekly television and radio shows.
My guest now is Don Phillips. Now, Don is the founder of G.S.I Paranormal UK. He runs a team of top investigators who examine paranormal case studies and evidence of another realm. Don Phillips, welcome to the show.
Great to be here, thanks.
Well, Don, you're the founder of G.S.I Paranormal UK. What does G.S.I Paranormal UK do?
We spend an awful lot of time actually helping people that have got problems with spirits in their house. And plus, the other half of the time we spend actually investigating to produce evidence that the paranormal is real and that ghosts and spirits, etc. are real as well.
So why is that important to you to have that proof?
Prior to starting GSI, I spent an awful lot of time looking at things from a sceptical point of view. Just wondering how much is actually real, how much is a need to believe, as the skeptics would put it, etc. And it wasn't an even balance sort of thing, because people weren't able to combat the skeptics with real hard, solid evidence. What I saw most of the time was the skeptics being able to pick it apart by, we've done this and we've proved that and everything. Obviously, because of who I am and what I do, I know that to be incorrect. So this year I decided to go into public eye and started putting out my evidence and challenging.
Yeah, because you have been in the public eye quite a bit just recently, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was never intentional, I don't think, was it?
No, it wasn't, but I just thought that it was time that somebody actually came out and says, look, this is real, the spirits are real, 100%,
Yeah.
I've got 100% proof. Come spend some time with me and I'll prove it to you.
So how quickly did you have the proof for yourself, seeing as you was a bit sceptical to begin with?
No, I was never sceptical. I already knew, but I wondered at what level the reality of it was. You know, people say they can see things, they can hear things, objects being moved, this, you know, lots and lots and lots of stories prior to me actually doing the investigations and everything.
Well,
so,
okay, and let's talk about how would you normally carry out an average investigation, and what is an average investigation for you as well?
okay, we would just go to a location, and as we start walking around it, I'll immediately start picking up on people being around me, spirit people. I can even feel whether they're a male, female or child. I work with other teams as well, which tends to fascinate them, because we could be walking just through woods, and I'll stop and say, all right, okay, we've got a young lady with us, can you give us your name, please? I'll pull the digital recorder out.
And you'll just sense that?
Yeah, straight away,
yep.
Every time. I'll just literally pull the digital recorder out, press the record while she's giving a name, but I'll actually hear a name, and then 9 times out of 10, I'll tell them what she said before I actually press play back on the digital recorder. So if I say it's a lady, it will be a lady reply. If it's a male, it will be a male reply. If it's a child, it will be a child. But I've literally got 100% hit record on that.
Okay, and what are they doing there? I mean, why are they there? I mean, is this the it sort of leads on to the question of where we go when we pass on, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't pretend to have the answers to absolutely everything. There is obviously reasons. Okay, we're getting quite deep now, because this is basically going to what happens when people die. What you need to understand is, I work with these spirit people a great deal. Everything that I do with them is recorded visually and backed up with audio. Okay, so because of the time that I've spent with them and working with them and helping each other, I've also got a very good insight into actually what the situation is. Even to the point, people often wonder, if somebody passes on, what happens? The spirit leaves the body, and what, you go down a tunnel, you do, you don't, etc. Okay, you get judged for being good or being bad, or heaven, hell, you know, all this kind of thing. They've told me quite categorically what happens is, everybody's got different energies. Someone that's really bad will have a different energy to someone that's good. There will be obviously variance in that. Okay, now when they pass, when they die, their consciousness, energy, or whatever you want to call it, spirit, which is them, leaves the body. Within a very short space of time of doing that, there is it's kind of, it's a light, and it's kind of looks like a tunnel, but it's not a tunnel. Now, how it works is, if you've been a good person, your energy within a certain range or whatever has got to match the energy in this light. If it does, you can go into this light and you can move on. My next question to them then was, well, what if it doesn't? They said, if you, I said, yeah, you're just trapped. I said, well, if you're a bad person, it doesn't, and you leave your body, you get to move to this light.
Yeah.
The light just goes. It just vanishes. So
what's their way then to be able to move on if they're trapped? I mean, what are they trapped for?
there is no way.
There is no way.
No,
you say?
if you're meant to move on, you'll move on. If you're not, you're not. You cannot move on somebody that's not meant to be moved on.
So how are you moving them on then?
I'm only moving on people that I can move on. In everything in nature, there's always exceptions to every rule, where sometimes things can go wrong, or some people might decide they don't want to move on. They've got unfinished business, or they might be frightened to, so therefore they don't. Okay, so there is a lot of spirit people about that can be moved on.
Would you say that's the majority of your cases that you go to investigate would be, you know, souls that have chosen not to move on?
I get an awful lot of help me, help me, help me. An awful lot. In fact, on most of the recordings that we put out, whether it's a cemetery on a location, whether it's good people you're dealing with or bad people, there's always people there saying, help me, help me, help me.
And how do you help them?
Well, you try and move them on. But
okay. So are you increasing their vibration or something?
No.
But no?
No.
But you are able to help them, as far as you are concerned or aware, they've moved on once you've helped them. And how do you move them on?
Well, I was just going to say that. There is, because of the spirit people that I work with, there is certain things that you do which are probably not the same as everybody else does. It's what they've told me to do. Okay. Literally afterwards, I can get a recording from Becky and she'll say if it was successful, if it wasn't successful. They'll tell me if there's somebody asking for help and can you help me, she'll tell me whether they can be moved on or whether they can't.
So what's the chances of successful then? I mean, how often is it successful? Most times or not often?
I don't do it a great deal. It's not the sort of thing
No.
you do 10 times a week.
So you're more in the case of just researching that you can actually have the proof that they're there by doing the recordings, which you call the electronic voice phenomena.
Well, I actually call them actual voice phenomena because I don't agree with the electronic voice phenomena at all.
And the electronic voice phenomena is, just for the audience that's not too sure.
Okay, well, the scientific definition of it is electronic voice, sound that's made up of ambient sounds or whatever, and it resembles speech. It's not intelligence, and it's without intent. Okay. My argument to that is, well, actually I've got two arguments. If I'm asking direct questions to a spirit person and getting a direct reply, well, first of all, that's actual speech, and it is with intent. As regards the electronic part, that can be easily debunked, because if I ask a question and before I play the recorder back, I can hear and say what the recorder's going to say, then obviously it's not electronically generated, it's got to be a voice.
Do you ever question what you do?
In what respect?
In the respect that it's, you know, these aren't just, you know, voices that you think are there.
Well, no, if I thought there was there, they wouldn't be the same on the digital recorder when I play it back.
Okay, and the same question for the videos as well. What if you're doing these recordings, yet, you know, one person, you're seeing it with your eyes, but someone else that views the same video doesn't see it? Yeah,
well, that's between a good paranormal investigator and a not so good paranormal investigator. It's to look at things from all angles and see it for what, not for what you think it is, but for what it could be from all angles.
Yeah, and to be open-minded as well.
Absolutely open-minded.
Yeah. Well, on that note, let's have a quick look at one of your videos. So just play that video.
Julie? Oh, I tell you what, I've just seen an orb coming straight across across the floor.
Okay, so there was a small light in the corner, wasn't there?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So just tell us about that video.
Right, that's a house that initially had a lot of problems with bad spirits. Okay. we sorted them out, but if I'm sorting out what I term as bad stuff, what I direct at bad stuff will only affect bad stuff. It doesn't affect everything in the house. Does that make sense?
Okay,
Right. So once the bad stuff's out of the way, there's still a lot of other spirit people there. So we kept on going around doing the investigation, gathering evidence. On this occasion, I went into the room. I was aware there was somebody there, didn't know who. So I started calling out names of the spirits that I knew was there, who I'd got to know because we'd been there several times over a 6-month period. And when I got to Julie, that's what happened. Now, some people say, oh, well, it could be dust. But you've got to bear in mind that there's nothing in the room moved. I was still, the door's closed, and it's just the chances of just getting one piece of dust to travel literally millimetres off the carpet from underneath a cabinet straight towards me and disappear. You know, dust doesn't seem so credible after that, does it?
Would you be surprised, though, that these maybe weren't spirit people, that this is something else? I mean, have you ever looked into the idea of parallel universes?
Yeah, okay. What my people have already told me, I asked them about parallel universes because there's a lot of theory. It's not something that I've actually looked into myself. I fully utilise my relationship with these people. They seem to know an awful lot about everything.
And when you say these people, these are the spirits that
I
you
work
talk
with
to, that
all the
you
time.
work with as an investigator. Yeah, sorry.
I've asked if parallel is such thing as a parallel world, universe. Yes, there is. Does it occupy the same time and space and ours? Yes, it does. Now, one of the reasons I asked that is because me and, I dare say, a lot of other paranormal investigators, if you go to a location sometimes, you can feel something or not or whatever, and you put your recorder on, and you'll get a recording that sounds like somebody doing something in everyday life, which is actually literally within your vicinity. I'm not talking about next door neighbours, I'm talking like the distance we are apart now.
Whatever it may be, yeah.
But there's nothing sounding spiritual or ghostly about it. It's someone like, we did one a couple of weeks ago, and it was at 1 o'clock in the morning. I was just about to go out of the house, and I put the record on because I said to the lady, something feels a little bit strange just here. And we literally got, Angela, do you want another cup of tea, and a lot of clunking going on. Now, the interesting thing is, the neighbours was away. Okay? That's one of the reasons why I started asking about the parallel universes. And what they've actually said is, planet, world, or whatever, in certain places, the fabrics are quite thin, and sometimes a digital recorder will actually pick up what is actually happening.
Yeah. Where would you want to take GSI now? I mean, what's the future of GSI?
Up to now, it's because the paranormal evidence has generally been quite flaky and hard to prove with solid evidence and quite easily debunked by scientists and skeptics and everything. Okay, I'm here to put out what I consider to be solid evidence. If scientists, skeptics want to come and debunk me, as they term it, then I'll actually help them try and do that. I haven't got a problem with that.
And you've done that as well with
I've invited
other skeptics,
plenty of them, but they won't come and, to date, nobody's took me up on my offer. It's just a case of come and see what I do, then tell me what's happening.
Okay. And if people are interested in helping to donate or help out GSI, I mean, how can they get in contact with yourself?
Just via the email address, info@GSI-paranormal.com.
Okay, well, we'll put all the links for some of your YouTube clips on our page as well, so they can go to our website. And Don Phillips, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
For more information on Don, visit my website, themoreshow.co.uk. Don't go anywhere, and we'll see you after the break.